We walk around every day feeling pretty secure in our understanding of reality, right? We think we know what biology is, how the cosmos works, what it means to be alive. Well, welcome to an explainer that is going to completely dismantle that sense of security. We're about to dive into the dark unknown, and I want you to treat every single piece of data we talk about today not just as a random science fact, but as a crucial, terrifying clue in a massive cosmic mystery. Prepare to leave your preconceptions at the door, because we are peeling back the layers of existence.
So, what if everything we know about life is just wrong? I mean, it's a comforting thought to think we have it all figured out, isn't it? We draw this neat, comforting little line in the sand. On one side, the living. On the other side, the cold, dead, mechanical universe. But what if that line is a total illusion? As we'll see, the fundamental biological rules that we absolutely trust with our lives, they are completely breaking down.
Take a second and just look at this number, 30,000. Let your mind drift back into deep, deep history. In 2014, scientists pulled a core sample out of the pitch-black, frozen darkness of the Siberian permafrost. Buried under crushing layers of ice, totally cut off from light and air, they found something waiting, a giant virus named Pithavirus sibericum. It had been locked in that icy tomb for 30,000 years, 300 centuries of absolute stillness. Biologically, that makes zero sense. They brought it into a warm lab, and within mere hours, it woke up.
I love how one observer chillingly put it, that is patience on a scale that makes the concept of death seem like a temporary condition. This ancient virus is our very first disturbing clue. It mimics living behavior, but biologists don't even technically classify viruses as fully alive. Yet it has this dark resilience that defies everything we know about cellular decay. And if the rules of biology and time are breaking down right here on Earth, what exactly happens when we leave the safety of our atmosphere?
That brings us to layer 1 of our cosmic matryoshka, when biology breaks down. Let's step out into the deadly, silent vacuum of open space.
10, that is the exact number of days that these microscopic animals called tardigrades actually survived in the absolute raw vacuum of low Earth orbit back in 2007. Think about what that really means for a second. Direct exposure to open space is supposed to boil fluids and instantly kill any carbon-based living thing. But these tiny creatures just sat there, enduring solar radiation 1,000 times stronger than what we get on Earth, surviving freezing temperatures and a vacuum that should literally tear any known organism apart.
Look at the impossible mechanics here. When they're exposed to the void, they deliberately expel the water from their bodies, total dehydration. They enter a state called cryptobiosis. Basically, their metabolism drops to an almost undetectable fraction of a percent. They consume zero measurable energy. The biological clock just stops ticking. Yet, bring them back to the lab, give them one single drop of water, and they rehydrate and resume normal life in 30 minutes. Something profound is maintaining the informational pattern of life without any active living processes. How is that possible?
Okay, layer 2, signals from the void. Because believe me, the mystery gets so much stranger as we leave the microscopic world and just look straight up. What scientists discovered next shocked absolutely everyone. In 2013, a highly sterilized weather balloon was sent 27 kilometers up into the stratosphere. That is way above the boundary where dense terrestrial life should naturally exist. The air is unimaginably thin up there, and it's bathed in lethal ultraviolet light. But when they brought the payload back, it contained unidentified biological entities, a massive biological cell fragment, and these weird fungal-like filaments floating freely in near space. No earthly pollen casings, no aerodynamic traits to explain how they got there. Did they drift up? Or did they fall from somewhere much darker?
And if finding unknown biological filaments right at the edge of space isn't unsettling enough, let's talk about Venus. Venus is a literal hellscape. The surface can melt lead. But in 2020, astronomers found an impossible chemical signal floating 53 to 60 kilometers above the surface, right in this strangely temperate Earth-like cloud band.
That signal was phosphine, and this discovery sent absolute shockwaves through the scientific community. Now you might be wondering, why is phosphine such a big deal? Because on rocky planets, phosphine is uniquely special. It is solely produced as a metabolic byproduct of anaerobic microbial life. It takes living biological factories to continuously pump it out. No known non-biological process, not volcanoes, not lightning, can explain the massive amounts floating around Venus. Guys, we might literally be staring at a biosignature from an alien mechanism right next door.
Which leads us to layer 3, dead stars that feed. We need to scale this mystery way, way up, leaving microbes behind and looking at the sheer violence of deep space.
Look at the rhythm of this anomaly. Back in 2004, a massive, dead neutron star, a magnetic corpse called SG 180620, produced an energy burst so violent it blinded satellites and ionized Earth's upper atmosphere from 50,000 light-years away. But the violence isn't the weird part, it's the pattern. Observations showed a massive feeding event, a period of recovery, and then a regular metronomic pulse. It transmits signals with absolute atomic clock precision. Across the vastness of the cosmos, it functionally mimics the exact rhythm of a beating heart.
And honestly, this is where reality starts to fracture. We used to think black holes were just passive, dead gravity drains, right? Just tears in space-time where light goes to die. But the 2019 image of the supermassive black hole in galaxy Messier 87 completely proved otherwise. As one physicist noted, black holes do not simply wait, they feed in cycles. They aren't inert voids, they are violently active, ravenous consumers.
Just check out the language physicists use to describe them. It maps onto biology with uncomfortable precision. Like an organism, black holes consume surrounding matter to grow. They actively compete and dramatically merge with rivals in the dark. Through Hawking radiation, they produce energetic offspring. And over unimaginably long time spans, they slowly evaporate, age, and decay toward death. No inanimate mechanical system does this. So are they just physics, or are we looking at something else entirely?
Let's keep zooming out. Layer 4, the mind of the cosmos. Watch what happens when we look at the unimaginable scaffolding of the entire universe.
Prepare yourself for this because it borders on the surreal. In 2020, researchers in Italy ran complex analysis comparing the large-scale structure of the universe to the neuronal network of the human brain. The sheer scale is staggering. 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe, 100 billion neurons in the human brain. But it's not just the numbers. Their physical organization, their clustering behavior, how they transfer information, and all aligns with absolute mathematical precision.
Let the weight of this data sink in. Both of these systems mysteriously allocate about 77% of their mass to passive material. That's fluid water in the human brain and empty, dark cosmic void in the universe. The remaining 23% of active structure is concentrated in sprawling, complex networks carrying signals between nodes. The brain and the universe don't just happen to look similar. Computationally and mathematically, they are the exact same shape. The implications here are literally terrifying. In 2019, astronomers actually witnessed a cosmic filament actively transporting matter. They saw hydrogen gas being delivered along invisible dark matter threads straight into a growing galaxy cluster. As the observers realized, they were not watching a scaffold. They were watching a circulatory system in operation. These dark matter threads actively route around voids, seek out resources, feed galaxies, and grow around blockages. It behaves identically to a massive biological vascular system keeping an organism alive.
Which brings us to layer 5, the ultimate unanswered question. We are going to completely dismantle the final boundary between the living and the non-living. We really have to check our own arrogance here. Look at NASA's official definition of life, a self-sustaining chemical system capable of Darwinian evolution. It was written by brilliant people, sure, but people burdened by cognitive bias. We think of tiny organisms, biological fluids, things in petri dishes, but read the definition again. There is absolutely no clause in there limiting its application by physical scale.
Think about it. The universe processes vast amounts of energy continuously. It relentlessly drives incredible complexity, turning raw primordial energy into burning stars and complex chemistry. It is structurally fine-tuned to generate internal observers, conscious minds like us, literally capable of looking back at it. And, through the creation of singularities and black holes, theoretical physics suggests the universe might even reproduce via cosmological natural selection. Our reality flawlessly exhibits every single hallmark of a living system.
13.8 billion. That's not just a timeline. Let the unfathomable weight of deep time crash over you. For 13.8 billion years, this massive, self-sustaining cosmic entity has been silently breathing, feeding on matter, and continuously growing in the dark. It's actively maintaining structural coherence across a scale that completely shatters human comprehension.
But of course, this raises an even bigger question. As a radical group of astrobiologists and physicists have started to quietly point out, we are not life living in the universe. We may be living inside something that has its own claim to that word. Every star, every exoplanet, every rising and falling human civilization, we might just be incidental, microscopic biological machinery contributing to its grand story.
We aren't standing outside observing the universe. We are made of its atomic flesh, powered by its thermal energy, and thinking about it from deep within its vascular structure.
Which leaves us staring out into the pitch-black night sky, completely stripped of our earthly arrogance, forced to confront the ultimate mystery. If the entire universe feeds, grows, thinks, and replicates exactly like a biological organism, are we just microscopic components inside a living, breathing cosmos?